Autobots, roll out!
Hello and welcome to That's Just Prime, and today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Prime Powerizer Optimus Prime, and I love this toy. Originally released in January of 2012, he retailed for approximately $23 and was the second Voyager figure of the line. The first one being, of course, the first edition Prime, which was originally canceled in the US after a very short time on shelves. And because that figure was a little bit more maybe screen accurate than this guy here was, this one I felt got a lot of undeserved negativity because of it. The first edition was later re-released and everybody was able to get that one. But yeah, this one kind of felt like a substitute to a lot of people. It felt like it wasn't like that great of a substitute, and it got a lot of negativity that personally I felt was undeserved because I think this is a great figure. Here in truck mode, Optimus is approximately 6 inches long, about 3 inches tall at the top of the cab here. Very nice truck. I think he looks exactly like the truck that we came to know in Transformers Prime. He rolls really well. Now, as far as paint goes, you've got your red and your blues and your silvers as you usually do with your Prime. However, this is one of those guys that suffered from black wheels, so I took it upon myself to paint those. And there were some spots on this vehicle, or on this figure rather, that were left unpainted gray that I took that upon myself to paint as well. One of which being, you may see the change or the difference in paint here on this back window, or the part of the window here. These were unpainted gray, and these are going to show also later in the robot mode. So I painted those, and it's a little uneven because I just Sharpied them, like I showed you in an earlier video, just some Sharpie touch-up. And it keeps rubbing off. This may be one of those where I need to break out the airbrush and go back and just really do it the right way. But there you go. He does come with a couple of weapons. He came with this sword, if I can get it off. He came with this sword right here. It's got a peg and a port on one side, and that's about all there is to say about the sword. And then he came with this big old thing that looks like some engine or something. Now, the big gimmick with the Powerizer figures was that you have these spring-loaded weapons that you pulled back, and they would transform. And then when you did that, you can see the LED light there would light up. And these were supposed to shine through their arms, and we'll go into that gimmick here later when we get into the figure itself. So that's the Powerizer weapon, and you can store them. Of course, there's a couple of pegs on the back there, so you could try to peg this. And now the sword really doesn't seem to have a good place to peg. It's going to be uneven if you try to peg it. You can try to put it in the center there. It doesn't hold too great, but I guess it does a good enough job. You can also put this thing on the side there if you want, or you could put it in the sword itself, but that might pop the engine or the legs open. See, it doesn't work. You can do the right thing, which is to set these aside and not put weapons on the back of the truck because it's stupid. So there you go. For comparison, real quick, here he is next to the current Titans Return Voyager Optimus Prime that we have currently on shelves, just so you can see how these two match up. So there you go. Now, getting into transformation for this guy, relatively simple. He does do some pretty cool things, kind of like this whole blowing up thing. Yeah, you'll see when we get there. So I'll start off with the panels here where the smokestacks are. These guys are on ball joints, so you just bring these straight down and then unpeg the front wheel wells from the truck. If you pull up on the grill here, it might help, and then you'll be able to just unpeg the whole side of the truck here. There it goes. And just bring those down. Bring this flap, I guess. This whole panel here with the, oh my goodness. What am I thinking today? Panel with the smokestack. I was going to say mud flap. Bring that up just like so to cover up that wheel. Do the same thing on the other side. So bring this down. Bring this guy down. And then bring that up just like that. There you go. You can go ahead and pull the top of the truck up and then bring the back of the truck down a little bit. This is going to be the legs. So you can separate the legs right here, bring the hitch down and rotate them. These are going to be the feet for the robot. And then these panels here are going to bring down, and these are going to be the shins. And there's your legs pretty much done right there. Now, this is where it gets really, really cool. So the whole cab here, we're going to separate this thing. So these guys are going to split, and then these guys are going to split. And what you're going to want to do, you're going to have to do a couple things here at kind of at the same time. You have to rotate this piece all the way out, while at the same time using this ball joint to keep this entire assembly here out to the side. So just kind of rotate that, just like so. There you go. And then do the same thing on this side, just like that. And then go ahead and take his windshields and turn them forward, just like this. Go ahead and take these assemblies here and spin these around, just like that. Turn these inside, just like so. And then bring his arms down, or his hands rather. You can go ahead and rotate the arms at this time as well. Now, come up here to where the grill was, rotate this all the way around. That's going to reveal the head. And then this entire chest piece is going, this whole bar in here is going to go through here into the back, bring the chest up, clip that into place, just like so, and then separate the windows, just like that. And let me bring the camera up just a little bit. Finally, just bring these shoulder pieces down and clip everything into place, get everything straightened out, and there is Optimus in robot mode, and I really, really love the way this guy looks. Here in robot mode, Optimus is approximately 7 inches tall, and yeah, I think he looks exactly like he should for Transformers Prime did. Now, there are some changes here that I made to this guy as well. Like I had mentioned, all the unpainted gray plastic that I took care of. These guys up here, I painted those. And all of this bottom part of the chest here, I painted that as well. Because this was just all unpainted gray plastic, which really kind of killed the look of Optimus for me. And then also the forearms here, you can see that these are like a translucent plastics. This is see-through plastic. This is for that gimmick, for the weaponizer game, or the Powerizer gimmick rather. If you remember the Powerizer weapon right here, this is a translucent blue. That's the same color that these guys were. These were translucent blue. And then I just took a Sharpie to them, which painted them red. I got this idea from Pia, the master. And yeah, it keeps them translucent so the gimmick still works, which I absolutely love. For articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so you can move this guy all over the place. Let's look at that head, though, real quick. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous sculpt on an Optimus Prime head right there. So, yeah, head's on a ball joint. The shoulders are on a ball joint. So, in and out, forward, backward, the rotation there. You got a bicep swivel, and you've got a 90 at the elbow, nothing at the wrist. No waist articulation. You do have a ball joint at the hip. So, in and out, forward and backwards, rotation at the thigh, a bend at the knee, and ball joints at the ankle. So good range of motion here with articulation. Now, one of the things that gave this guy a lot of bad rep, I think, is the fact that he's got these big panels on the back here, where the first edition didn't have quite, it had little bitty panels, but not quite as big. And then also you can't really see the smokestacks behind them. And then the wheels are hidden behind there rather than on the shoulder. So, yeah, the first edition was a little more screen accurate than this guy is. But still, I think that this guy looks fantastic. But, yeah, I understand a lot of people just did not like this big square back here in the back there. So, taking a look at the weapons, the weaponizer weapon right here, you got 2 ports, one on each forearm here. So you can just plug that in right there. Am I going the right way? Yes, I am. So the idea was that you would plug this big ugly thing right there, and then you would pull it forward, and it would light up, and it would turn into a weapon. You see that right there. And then supposedly you can see the LED, the light going through his arm. I suppose that's like the power going through, or something like that. I don't really know, but that was the idea. That was that. You could just transform the weapon, and it powered up his arm. That's there you go. Not a big fan of this thing. I usually keep this thing put away. In fact, I just dug this up for this review. So we'll go ahead and set that aside. Now we'll give him his sword. His sword looks good. So we'll go ahead and give him that. And there you go. There's Optimus with a sword, which I have to tell you honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Optimus with a sword. That's kind of like a modern thing. I really like the Optimus with a rifle, like he did back in the day. But there you go. And then another thing that I did is if you are familiar with the RC figure from the same line from Robots in Disguise, I took her cannon and I just give it to him. So you can do that and just give him his cannon, her cannon rather, and this looks good. And I think I used the back panel or the backpack. This guy has 2 pegs, one there in the front you can see, and then there's another one in the back hitting in, and that was so that you could peg that weapon in and it would look like it was coming out of their arm like it did in the cartoon. So I don't remember how I did this now, because it doesn't seem to be working in either way. There you go. So there you go. I use the front peg. So there it is. This is the rifle that I gave him, and this is the way that I display it, which I think looks much, much better this way. There you go. And for comparison, real quick, here he is once again with the current Voyager Titan Return figure that is on shelves right now. So just a little taller. There you go. So Voyager versus Voyager. So yeah, very cool figure. I like it a lot, despite its again, I believe, undeserved negativity. I just really didn't care for this thing, but other than that, I mean, if you get a weapon for him, he looks just fine. So I think that about covers Transformers Prime Powerizer Optimus Prime. What did you think of this figure, and what would you like to see me review next? Let me know by leaving me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time on That's Just Prime.